Hi, guys and dolls. How are you? I hope you are well. So, let's talk about sometimes you don't find out that a person, that your partner, boyfriend, fiance, spouse, in some cases, maybe even in a lot of cases, you may not find out that they are a narcissist until after you become pregnant. And women will find themselves pregnant and alone, you know, which is really scary, I'm sure, and terrifying. In addition to your mind blown because you thought that this was going to bring you closer together. And I'm not talking about women who did it on purpose, okay? I'm talking about, just maybe birth control failed or they took one chance of not doing whatever and it resulted in a pregnancy. Um, Being married doesn't make it any easier because I read an article where they were in their 20s and he acted a straight up fool when she got pregnant. And he said things like, where'd my thing go? He said things like, she had a, she, you know, she had a hyperemesis, which is basically a lot of vomiting when you're pregnant. Okay. Um, Much of that can be stress induced, made worse through stress. And she was just having the worst time. I mean, the worst time. So then he decided to just show who he truly is. And he said, I'm not helping you do anything. It seems like to me you're going to be a bad mom because you can't even handle being pregnant. I you know, I don't even know what to say to that. It's just wow. Wow. And I thought to myself when I read this article, I thought, you know what? If I was married to his ass, if it's a weekend, first thing on Monday morning, I'm going to go talk to a lawyer. I'm not going to put up with this shit. Nope, nope. I'll raise this kid by myself. And if you feel like paying child support, that's fine. You can do that. You know what I mean? Um, what a horrible thing to say. What a horrible thing to say. Men have no idea what women go through in pregnancy. They know what they witness, they know what she told them, but they can never experience it. But there's a certain vulnerability when you're pregnant, and there's all these different things obviously going on with your body, and your hormones are going absolutely buck wild trying to, formulate this child. And you have crazy cravings, and you have swollen feet, and you have back pain and nausea, and there's all kinds of illnesses that can result come as a result of pregnancy as well, like oh, what is it called? Gestational diabetes that you have while you're pregnant. I mean, all kinds of things can go wrong. There could be something not formulating correctly with the child. I mean, there's a million gazillion things that could go wrong, and your body just doesn't feel 100%. And for someone to say that, your own partner, the person that you married, that you love, to say, oh, well, you're not going to be a good mother because you can't even handle being pregnant. I'd love to ask him when was the last time he was pregnant, since you think it's so easy. So, like I said, I'd be going to my lawyer's office, and there's just no way around it. You want to pay child support? Hey, that's cool. And if you don't pay, you can get your check garnished. And some people will, the guy will get retribution like, oh, you going to try to make me pay child support? I'll just keep quitting my jobs every time you turn around. And then I don't know the person, but I've heard of a guy doing that, which is not an uncommon thing. And some judges are not going to play that game with you. They're going to give you X amount of days to get another job, or you're going to jail for not paying child support. So the whole thing could just be an ugly, massive mess, okay? So that's another reason I tell you guys to use birth control. Please use birth control. Of course, if you are married and you're planning to have a family, you may not be using birth control because you're trying to get pregnant, and you're not going to know that your partner is hateful until you find out that you're pregnant. So, from watching and listening to women's stories, one of them, her partner became extremely hateful and was cheating on her with someone else when she found out she was pregnant. And so she decided, I'll tell you what, I'll do this on my own. But it was ugly because she, I'm playing with makeup. It was ugly because she bottomed out emotionally. It got really ugly. She wanted to give up on life, and she just did not want to go through this by herself, which you got to really watch those hormones and things like that, because all of that can be upsetting, to your child too, because that affects your hormones, which affects your child. So that's easier said than done, I'm sure. But wow, really? I was looking for these and I just now found them after I got some more. They are the liners, the fillers for the eyelash curler. Found them after the fact. That's real freaking helpful. Anyway, so be really careful, because like I've said to you guys before, that's what I was looking for. Be careful who you get knocked up by, because there's criteria when you get a job. You're not going to just stroll up in there, flash your pearly whites, and get hired. It just doesn't work like that. So there's criteria. And when you do get hired, there is a probationary period. Usually a 90-day or so period to prove that they made a good decision by hiring you. What is your deal? What is your freaking deal? Oh, I know what I'm doing. Blonde moment. Anyway, so that when you get this job, there's going to be a probationary period. So this is a potential life partner. Don't you think you should have criteria other than he's fine, and he's tall, and he's got dark hair and beautiful skin, and he has a great smile? Don't you think there should be more criteria than that? Or he's good in bed? And for some situations, if they're religious, you're not supposed to be doing the wow thing until you're married. And so they will speed up getting married so they can do their thing, if you know what I mean. And that's not always a good situation either, because you could be jumping from the pan to the fire. Okay? You're not going to hear too many churches talk about that. So, you just have to have criteria for who you lay down with and who you make a human being with. There has to be criteria other than superficial silliness. Okay. Now, not to say that you cross your T's and dot your I's and it could go way wrong anyway, because that is obviously a possibility too. You're taking a chance because when you get pregnant, you're obviously making a permanent decision on a situation that may not be permanent. You're making a permanent decision on a situation that may not be permanent. So you got to be careful. You got to be really, really careful. I think that, I told a friend of mine the other day that the worst thing about being with someone, the absolute worst thing about being with them, is their unpredictability. You have no idea if and when they're going to flip the script. I'm so deeply in love with you to, I'm not happy anymore. 10, 20 years later, 25 years later, 3 kids later. Yeah, I don't want to do this. So that's the worst thing about being with someone else. You just have no clue if they're going to be good to you, respectful, love you forever, regardless of what they said. Anybody can say that. But can they step up to the plate? Can they step up to the plate? So, yeah. That's the hardest thing. So I think that everybody who has kids should have a backup plan, a financial backup plan, or have money put to the side in case this person says, the father says, peace out, I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done. I know a male friend of mine who went through that. He was stationed in Guam at the time, temporarily. The Air Force called it TDY, Temporary Duty Station. And so he met her and fell in love, got married, had 2 girls. And she came to the United States. And then she decided, this isn't what I want. I'm out. I'm going back to Guam. So good luck. Now here's the weird part. But if it works for them, who am I to say any different? But it is bizarre. They decided that they were going to remain married forever, never get a divorce, so that she could still reap the benefits of the Air Force. You heard me. Y'all heard what I said? They're going to stay married forever. One of the things that he did that I didn't approve of, but it's not my business, but it's still not cool to do. I didn't know him at the time. I knew him at the time, but I didn't know him when this was all going down. Found out from his daughter later that he had got with this woman, and she wanted a serious relationship with him. We've been together X amount of time. Where are we going with this? And he broke up with her. And I asked his daughter, well, why would he break up with her? She said, and I quote, "My parents are not divorced." I said, "Yes, they are. Your father told me that they got divorced a long time ago." She said, "No, they did not." I said, "That's what he told me." She said, "They're not divorced." So he broke up with that young lady because he can't marry her when he's married. And he's never going to leave his wife. So she basically got involved with someone who was emotionally unavailable and legally unavailable. So you got to be careful. Y'all need to have a backup plan. His mom helped him raise the girls. But it's just insane. It's just totally insane. Yeah, people are just a mess. Sorry, I gotta leave you for a second. And I would like to know where my water is, because I'm thirsty. Another thing that I forgot to mention to you all, because I'm goofy, is my friend Schahrzad Morgan did an interview with me last week or so. I can't remember. I've been so busy and running around like a crazy person lately, but she interviewed me on her channel, and I'm going to try to remember to find it and link it in the description bar of this video so that you can find it. She's an amazing lady. She's very, very smart. Schahrzad Morgan. Very, very smart lady. And I think that you will find her content and the interview interesting. So I'm going to go. I'm feeling hot. I got several lights on, and it's like killing me. So I'm going to go ahead and go. But be careful. Have criteria with who you lay down with, who you make children with. Because again, you're making a permanent decision on something that may not be permanent. Keep that in mind. All right? Much love. You guys be safe when you travel. Much love.